What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Champion Beyond the Huddle podcast, episode one, all right, of 2024. Basically, the goal of this podcast is just to highlight athletes who want to create a powerful legacy, who want to transcend sports, who want to do what they love and create something for themselves, so it's bigger than simply the game. And today, I'm really excited to have our guest right here. We have Shekai Mills-Knight, former North Shore Mustangs down at Baylor School right now. And we're simply going to share a nice little conversation to see what he's all about, what his dreams are, what he's doing right now. What's up, Shekai? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Coach. What's up?
Before we get into the Baylor experience and what's ahead, because I know you racked up a couple offers this year too, so which is super exciting. So you have one more year at Baylor?
Yeah, I'm a junior this year, so I have my senior year next year.
Okay, perfect. So talk to me a little bit. Just how did you start playing football? Did you have people in your family playing the game also? How did that happen for you?
Yeah, so my big brother played, and my friend actually invited me to practice because I was a big kid back in grade 5, and he thought like their coaches were trying to recruit like big kids. So he recommended me, and I tried it out, and I fell in love with the sport at a young age.
Perfect. So big kid, I definitely relate to that. Back when I started playing, I was supposed to be peewee, but I was 200 pounds, so they had me with the bigger kids. And at first it wasn't at running back, right? So that's the position you're playing right now. Did you play any other position starting out, and how did you, or were you just a running back from the get-go?
Nah, I started off as a tight end, and then I switched over to receiver. And then I really wanted to play running back because I wanted the ball a lot. So my coach switched me over, and then I fell in love with running back.
Perfect. And how were your parents at first, about just you playing the game? Were they a little bit like against it, or does the game has just grown on them over time?
Nah, so my parents really didn't want me to play because like they didn't want me to get hurt. They thought it was too dangerous, but I told them to let me get a shot at it, and turns out I was great. So
perfect. So you're the one hurting people now, so they're not too worried now. They're not too worried about that.
I also played linebacker, and I was really good at it.
Okay, perfect. All right, so started off playing the game, going to North Shore, had a great year, and basically, when did the idea of transferring out to the U.S., down south, to kind of further your education, further your football development, let's say, or just personal development as a person, when did that cross your mind for the first time?
So I knew like the competition levels in the States were different. So it's always been like a plan to get out there and compete against the best of the best. So I had this idea since like 2 years ago to get down in the States and like just put myself out there because I knew I'd get recognition and the offers would just come in, start flowing in by itself. I just had to put in the work.
Okay, putting the work. And how was the process? I know you have people, you have a nice circle around you basically helping you. How was the whole process for you? Was it complicated? Was it easier than it looks?
The process is like, I'd say it's like medium because it's a little bit long, but once you have good grades and you have your connections, you'll be fine.
Okay, perfect. So how's family right now? Because I know, let's say I'll give you an example. Me, when I left down south, at first I went down to Mississippi, right? So coming from Montreal, going to the deep south is definitely further from home. It's different. Then I transferred out to Colorado. I understand you're away from home too. How is that? Is that something you always wanted? How is it with the family too? Having their boy turning into a man, basically leaving away from home.
Yeah, it's very different, but they believe me. They believe in me because I'm very independent, but they're very supportive. They call me every day, and it's not that bad. being away,
Okay.
honestly.
All
Yeah,
right. Perfect. And we're here one way or another because like we love the game of football, right? We love the game of football. I'm curious to know, what is football to you? Obviously, being on the field, playing the position, there's a thrill that comes with it, being part of a team, all that stuff. But I believe it's also bigger than the game. Like, it builds the individual, it teaches you things about you.
for
So
sure.
I want to know, let's say to start out, this question has a couple layers, but the first one is simply like, what is football to you?
Man, that's a big question.
Mm,
Football is like one of my biggest passions. Like it teaches me like everyday life lessons about toughness, like how to carry yourself. So it's really bigger than the game, but um it's a big passion and it really helps you become a man.
mm. And going from Montreal to Baylor, which one of these lessons, let's say, that football taught you, that you applied that much more, or that really hit home this year as you left from home, as now you're basically looking to build something for yourself as a football player, but for your education, for your life? So what did you learn this year?
And I say I learned toughness. My coach in Baylor, he always tells us like what you're doing is more important than how you feel. And that like
Mm,
really hit home for me this year
mm,
because I came in with an injury and like I had to be tough to get through it. Like I had to play through it no matter like how I was feeling. I had to like be tough because it was hurting like after every game, after every practice. But I had to ice like consistently. I had to stay consistent, and it really taught me toughness. I'd say.
Can you repeat that? I'll definitely write it down, and I'll make sure that as many athletes as possible, or former athlete, or anyone hears that what you do
What I'm
is more
doing,
important than how you feel, right?
yes, sir. What I'm doing is more important than how you feel, how I feel.
Perfect. Perfect. I love that, man. I love that. And what's the next step for you? I know you racked up a couple offers
Next step.
this year. I don't know if that's okay, if you can like name them, but ultimately beyond just the offers, right? Because the offers is like the nice shiny object, but beyond that, it's you, it's what you want for your life, for your journey, right? What is it that you're looking for your ultimate student athlete experience? Where are you gonna go that's gonna give you the best to develop yourself, in your opinion? What needs to be there?
Uh, I don't know where I'm gonna go right now, but the goal is to just like keep getting bigger, keep getting known, move up the rankings for my position, go on visits, and see which college feels like home to me. Because I
Mm,
feel like after I go on the visits, I'll know for sure. Like
mm,
my friends that have offers, they tell me like once you go on visits, like the
yeah,
school is just gonna like pop out and stand out to
yeah.
you.
Okay, perfect.
That's
And what feels like home? I see you're in your basement right now, back in Montreal. I'm sure your parents are very involved, in your process and bringing you to where you are. You got good people around you. I know Emmanuel's in your corner also. What
mhm.
feels like home for you?
So whichever college is like has a great atmosphere, they love football, their coaches are like keeping in contact with me, and yeah, that's about it.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. And right now, I think you want to go into business, right? When you go
Yes, sir.
into university.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Do you have anyone in your family who runs a business or is in business? Like, what got you interested in this
Yes,
field?
sir. So my mom's actually a financial advisor, and like
Mm,
they're the number two or something like that paid job in the world.
mm,
So that's I like to take after her footsteps,
nice,
and
nice.
I feel like I'd be good for the job because it involves talking to people, and I'm good at that.
Mm. And you're right, because through my other podcast, Football Inc., I met a former football player who's actually a vice president for one of the biggest financial advisement firm in Canada, right? And it's crazy how much so many people don't know about finances, especially athletes. I mean, athletes love the game and they only think about the game, right? And as you
Exactly.
know, I mean, you're doing it, you're living it, and I wish for you to play as long as you can. But even then, let's say you get to make it pro, you retired, you're still a young man, you got a whole life ahead of you. So I find football is really like a stepping stone. It's not like it's part of the journey, right? It's part of who you are, but there's a lot more layers to that. So how important is it for you, especially to have your mother in that field already, to help people with their finances and to maybe even inspire athletes or do it a different way while you're playing the game?
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
Yeah,
I didn't
so
hear you.
there was a lot of questions in there, so my bad. Okay, it's me. It's me. So how how do you think
Mm-hmm.
that athletes could benefit from understanding more about finances, especially now when you look at college football, you got NILs, or even back then when I played, right? We received our stipend checks and our teammates, buying rims and PlayStations and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I opened up a bank account. I just put money aside. I had my stuff paid for. Why just splurge on stuff? So, how do you think it's important just to understand finances for athletes?
Oh, so I feel like it's really important because especially now, like everything's a business now. Everything's like NIL, and you just gotta know your stuff. Like
Mm,
you gotta have knowledge about everything out there. I feel it's very important.
mm,
And finance
per-
is a big, like it's a big industry. It's a big like thing. So I feel like it's really important to get to understand it.
perfect. And if I look beyond the blue chip running back, right? If I look beyond that and I just look at Shekai, right?
Mhm.
And let's say I ask your mother or your best friends, and I ask them, okay, who is Shekai exactly? Because I know Nick Saban he used to say that you're always selling something. What I mean by that is that the first impression someone gets of you when they look at you, they have something in their mind. What is it that they would see if they get to really see Shekai beyond the athlete, let's say?
They would find out that like I'm a really great person. I love God. I'm always smiling, and I
Mm,
like to encourage people. That's what they say about me.
perfect. Really cool stuff. And through your journey at North Shore,
Mhm.
are you still connected with a lot of the coaches there? How was your whole experience just playing North Shore football?
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty connected to all the coaches still.
Mm,
Um, and at North Shore football, man, it was like a brotherhood there. It was we had a blessed season. I've been playing with those guys since I was like really young because
mm,
North Shore is like a whole organization from like 6 years old all the way to 17, 18. So it was a good journey
mm,
and I had fun.
nice.
Yeah.
And why Baylor School specifically? Because I know for you it's important that it feels like home,
Yeah.
but beyond that, other there's other opportunities for sure. Why was Baylor the right fit for you?
So I feel like Baylor was the right fit for me because I knew there was a lot of recognition there with playing alongside 5-star Cameron Sparks and 4-star Mari Jefferson, 4-star Max LeBlanc. I knew
Yeah,
that
Max
like
LeBlanc.
it,
He's from
yeah,
Montreal too, right? Max
yes, sir.
LeBlanc. Yeah.
He lives like close to me, kind of,
Mm,
and I knew their running back was leaving, and he
mm,
had a great season. And he had offers like a lot, so I knew that if I put myself like in that spot in the middle of all the SEC schools, that I'd start
mm,
blowing up too because they had a lot of they had a lot of recognition out there,
mm.
and the coach, the head coach, he has a lot of connects, and he's big, so
Nice.
I knew that was the perfect fit for me. So last year in April, I went out to visit the campus, and I loved it. So I didn't have second thoughts when I committed there.
Nice. And one thing about that journey too is that as you're coming from a different place, let's say, all right, so you knew the running back was leaving, so there's definitely strategy there. You have to look at your opportunities, right?
Yes, sir.
But you see what they can do for you also. But the reality is, in football, just like in life, you're going out there to get an opportunity. Other people are going out there to get an opportunity, the one that you want, right?
Yeah.
Someone has to win one way or another. So if you were to tell other athletes coming up, okay, who are trying to get to where you are, because ultimately they have to compete against you or other
Mhm.
people who want the same thing, what should they be ready for? You know, to really, really make their whatever's in their mind a reality, right? Especially within this game, because this game it's a man's game, right? Like you know,
Exactly.
right? If you want to go for it's a man's game, you're smiling and everything, but you're about business, right?
Exactly.
So
I say, um, just be ready to compete. Always like try to be like number one, for what you do. Like compete in the weight room, on the field. Like everything's a competition.
mm,
I say. So be ready to compete, and when times get rough, keep pushing.
mm, okay, perfect, perfect, really cool stuff. And how was your Christmas vacation back
It was
home? How
good.
did it
It
feel?
was nice. I got to
Yeah,
see all my family. Like the Christmas spirit was real this year. I
nice,
feel like it brought everyone closer.
nice. Have your parents gotten the chance to go down there and watch you play last season?
Um, Not, but there is like a site where they could watch us like directly on like really good angles online. So
Nice.
they still watch all my games.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, man. So, Shekai, I got one more question for you. Okay. So, this was the first one. It's just sharing a nice little conversation. It's good to see what you do. I'd like to know if there was someone else that you would like to see on the pod. You know, this is specifically for
Someone
athletes, right?
else?
I want to, who?
Um, I have to think about that.
Okay, perfect, perfect. You'll let me know because that's the goal, man. Just to kind of get to showcase who athletes are beyond the huddle, you know, the true champions that they are, but also inspire other ones, you know, coming up who might just look at the game only for the game and forget that there's so much more. You know, that's really an important thing, you know. So, okay, so if you had one last message, let's say for the new year. We all have big goals for the new year. What's your goal in 2024?
2024, I'm coming for it all. My goal is to win state and to move up the rankings in my position. Hopefully, become a 5-star soon.
Let's
That's the
go.
goal.
So right now you're a 4 star,
I'm
three
a three
star,
star right now. Yeah,
3 star on the way to 5 star by the end of 2024 for sure. All right.
God's plan.
Perfect. Perfect, Shikai. So again, man, just thank you for showing up. First episode. Wish you all the best at Baylor. We're watching you from afar. We're proud of you and wish you all the best, man.
Appreciate it.